Hey, I'm Brian Van, SportbikeTrackHere.com. Today we're going to do a ride review on the all-new Alpinestars Supertech R10 helmet. Okay, I've been selling stuff in this industry for this is year number 18, I think. I've ridden in more helmets than I can even remember. A couple of years ago, we did a video series breaking down different helmets, and I counted up all the stuff I have, and it's a gigantic number. I've ridden in literally every premium helmet the entire time that I've been doing this. In all this time, when all the new models have come out, right, I've never seen as much excitement surrounding a new helmet as I have this one. From the first video we did to the first Facebook post we made taking a picture of this thing, the response from this has been epic. Max and I had the chance to ride with our friends from Sportbike Track Time down at Barber Motorsports Park early September. Thank you, Trevor and Cindy, for putting on another great event. We had a ton of fun. I got to ride my R7, Max rode his Ninja 400, and the Suzuki 1000 just a little bit. I took this helmet with me, and I'm not going to BS you, man. I hemmed and hawed a little bit. This thing's so sexy, and because this is one of those launch edition lids, there's 200 only made. I was a little, I don't know if I should ride in it or not, if I just want to keep it for the shelf. I took this and my Showy X15 down, so I'd have a really good benchmark. The X15 that's my favorite helmet. I love the Showy stuff. Great experience in it. Max rides and races in it too. So it's a great measuring stick for something that's brand new. Apparently people paid attention to the internet when we got down there. There were folks coming over before I even went out and rode in it that were asking about it. A lot of buzz, a lot of excitement. That carried all the way through the weekend. I spent the majority of the weekend in this. I think I did a couple of sessions in the X15 to just benchmark it. I don't want to sound like a fanboy. I love A-Star stuff. They make great products, right? Not every single one is perfect, but they make great stuff. Been using their stuff for years. My expectations with this helmet were that it was going to be good, right? But there were going to be areas where refinement was going to be necessary, and I thought that would really show when I was riding in it, especially when you're comparing this to a Showy X15. Riding in this helmet, the experience is amazing, right? I rode the Suzuki one session, so I got some good top speed. You could really feel the arrows, maybe a little more than the R7, because the R7, the whopping 70 horsepower from that bike, I'm going faster in the corners. Probably am on the straightaway. So I got to test everything. There was not one single thing with this helmet that I did not like. The field of vision is huge. I have it. If you watch the video where I review the helmet, I have the top pad in the stock position. In the stock position, no obstruction in a tuck. Barber has a lot of elevation changes. Worked great for me there. The aerodynamics of the helmet, as you would expect, were amazing, especially with this gigantic wing on the back, right? Got on the Suzuki, the thing's super stable on the straight. It's just great. It did everything great. There was one area that really shined, and to me, this is the other helmet manufacturer should almost be a little embarrassed. One of the most important features a helmet can offer is going to be ventilation, right? When you're out there, you're wearing a leather suit, you're ripping that bike, you're working your ass off. A little cool air on the head goes a long way. If you look, and I didn't really realize this before, but when you're in a tuck, you're probably something like maybe, I don't know, a position like that. The helmet's going to be somewhere around there. These holes right here in the top, they're underneath the vent switch. So when the vent is open, these holes are exposed. Plus you have the vent up here. The first straightaway I got on with this, I'm like, what is going on? There is an air conditioner bolted to my head. The airflow is like nothing I've ever experienced before in a helmet. The most effective ventilation system, and the area where it really peaked for me was up in this spot here. You can't help but zero right in on that. It is so effective. For me, that is the absolute standout feature of this helmet. Everything else, it just did what it should do. I mean, it fits really well. It has the type of fit that really kind of captures you. The on-off effort on this, it's a little more than some, pulling it over the top of your dome takes some effort, but once you get it over, it really captures you here in the jawline, real nice, and holds itself in place the entire time. This is a size medium. I'm 58 centimeters on the button. This is what the size chart would call for. It fit and felt exactly as I'd expect, and a real racy, captured style fit. Quietness. Shocked, especially with the ventilation that it offers. One of the things where I expected this to maybe miss the mark and not be as good as the Showy was noise production. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on here. We got wings on the outside of this thing, right? You got this big spoiler, these turbulators on the shield, this big vent on the top, right? These extractor venturis here. It's got to make some noise, right? No, it didn't. It was, in my opinion, every bit as quiet as the Showy, right? It did so many things just as good as the Showy, with one thing being better, and that was the vent here on the top. That was one spot where this thing just kind of really separated itself from the other, which I believe is the benchmark in the industry right now. Jump off the bandwagon just a little bit, and I do have a couple of criticisms. How much do these mean? I don't know. The quality of the vents, I just feel like, especially when you compare this to a Showy, a Rye, maybe two, right? The action and the feel from those vents just screams quality. While these are good and they're effective and the motion's all positive, right? It's good. It could be, in my opinion, maybe just a little bit more refined. What does that mean? They all worked fine. It didn't make any excessive noise. That's just me probably looking for something to not like. The shield lock up front, I was kind of curious how I would like that. Pulling it down with the gloves on, I was able to get it to lock no problem. When I got back into the pits, you push up, lift up. I like that it's centrally located. I think that's the right place to put a shield lock, because that way the pressure that's on it, it's not pulling on one side, it's pulling dead center. It makes it much more even. That was good. So, overall, what do I think? I think it's pretty clear. This thing is a home run. If you're one of those people, you want the latest, you want the greatest, you want the newest thing out there, if you buy this when they become available early 2024, and you can bet your ass we're going to be stocking these here based on the interest that I've seen and my experience in it too, buy this helmet. You're going to love it, right? If you're one of those, because there are some areas still it does need to prove itself. Yeah, okay, what are those areas? Longevity. When you look at products like Orion and Showy, those have proven themselves to last a long, long time. We sell parts, replacement parts for Showys, for helmets that are several models old. They continue to import them because people continue to buy them, because they're still using the helmets, because they just last, right? A lot of people don't follow the 5-year rule, and they ride them until they don't want to ride them anymore, until they're worn out. With Showy, we see a tremendous amount of sales in replacement parts because the helmets last a long time. Same thing holds true for a Rye. This, obviously, it's newer to the market. They have their off-road helmet, so they have a little bit of history there, but even that, I think that's like from 2018, and off-road and on-road, they're two different things at the end of the day, right? I know that they've refined that off-road helmet quite a bit, and as I understand, that's a really good helmet as well. So the longevity, that needs to be proven over time. Crash worthiness. I'm not really going to hit on this a lot, because at the end of the day, with the helmet, you've got your impact tests, you've got your engineering, and these factories, it's not like they're spinning up a factory in their backyard and making this helmet and submitting it for testing. This is going to be, I didn't ask them this question, but considering where it's made, it is made in China. You need to know that, I guess. Some people that's important too. there's only so many helmets that make factories, and they know what they're doing. So with proper engineering, proper impact testing, and then proper manufacturing, which this has all those things, I don't think the safety is something I'm really concerned about. But, you know, over time, as more riders are in the product and crash, that will just, I believe, prove itself to be very good as well. So there you have it. We're going to see these things here very early 2024. I'm pretty stoked for it. I loved riding in mine. You'll probably, if I get a chance to get out there and ride again this year, you'll probably see me in it again. Any questions, any comments, feel free to leave them in this video. I answer all that stuff myself. I'm always here to make sure you choose the right gear for your next ride.